Good afternoon. It's Sunday. It can only be our recap for season 2, episode 7 of From. So, welcome everyone. Welcome, Anthony.
Yeah, what an episode this go around. I feel like I'm saying that a lot with every episode, but trust me, there was a lot that happened in this one. Okay.
Yeah, so the episode was called Belly of the Beast. And I think we went into the belly of the beast, and it left me confused slightly. It was interesting, much more of a cerebral episode, I think, compared to last episode. This episode will be more cerebral, but at least what they are doing, something we've been complaining about for the entire season. They are finally talking to each other.
Yeah, and there was definitely some jump scares
Oh yeah.
in this one as
hmm
well.
And it comforts you on the idea that I can't stand the character of Jim, but this is me.
And also the guy on the bus. I don't.
Mm. And Ellis is just useless as usual. I don't know what the hell is he doing
Okay, he's
back to.
not
Oh, come
useless.
on.
He's not useless. He got someone pregnant. That's something.
He does, but come on, he hasn't done anything for the rest. This season, he always been there to actually be the pretty face, most probably for the entire season. That's what. Let's be honest. That's why he's there right now, because he hasn't done anything remotely interesting that would move up the plot at all.
He got her pregnant. Like
Oh,
that's
come
a plot
on.
device right there.
Yeah, well, we see if he really gonna get the.
And you're like, why would he get? Why would he get someone pregnant in this state of affairs? And I'm just like, I'm sure the supply of birth control is limited.
Yeah, but he could have. And I replied to he could
So,
have pulled out, but I guess this is just like
contrary to popular belief, that is not always,
Yeah, but let's be
a
honest.
safe
Ellis is
bet.
hardly the most interesting and intelligent person in the entire house. But
Okay, before let's remove the shade tree from Ellis right now. Why don't you give us like a little rundown of the episode?
okay, so the rundown to the episode. Well, as I said, was much more cerebral. With a lot of people talking, very few things happening. But nonetheless, the plot kind of moved forward into some very interesting X-File-ish kind of area that was pretty cool. So we actually see the aftermath of last week episode, where is the monster dead or not? And well, he is. Mr. Smiley is gone, unfortunately, which is a shame because he was the creepiest one. But Mr. Smiley is gone.
I was really that whole autopsy scene because Boyd and Christy the nurse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the doctor.
Nurse.
They wanted to do an autopsy, an autopsy of Jane Doe over
Well,
here,
yeah.
and Kenny was not very impressed with this. He's just like WTF.
Yeah, but let's be honest, Kenny was a bit of a. Why do you bring the fact that you love her in the middle of that situation? Just like calm down.
Yeah, like my fiance is literally in the next room puking her brains out from withdrawals. So
Exactly.
let's not.
But I did love the fact that we were watching it with some subtitle, and the subtitle at one point, the reply was grunt, which was pretty hilarious to me. But so, what happened in in this episode is we got the scene in the hospital, which actually the sun is rising. The body is still outside, so they say, okay, he's dead. So they decide to do an autopsy, which makes sense because why basically wouldn't you do an autopsy for something that's been scaring you for years? And there's one dead there, so let's see what we can learn from them. But as we say, Kenny wasn't really happy about that, and he explained it in the right way, which is like, hold on a second, we've been scared of these things for a very long time. Boyd had this worm inside of him. This worm actually killed this thing. Shouldn't be worried about the worm. Which makes sense because where are the worms? So yeah.
Yeah, and like like Kenny. brought to our attention. The worm definitely needed
Hmm.
blood. So what happened to the blood? Because when they opened him up, it was basically,
Desiccated. Yeah.
yeah, uh, and I was just like, okay.
They kind of, it's funny because I kind of add this kind of, the autopsy in the thing, feeling to it. Like it really started. I was just expecting something to come out of the body because the way it was shot, where they keep showing us the close up of the face, and I was just thinking he's gonna get up and actually bite one of those people. It was really, really tense.
I was really confused by this whole scenario because to me, it's like before we go cutting into something that we're not even really sure if it's dead or not, how about we actually tie it down? you know, like how about we find some kind of way to immobilize this
Hmm.
this
Well,
creature?
cut his head off, like you said earlier. Just like start by cutting his head off. That would help. But yeah, it was a very
Yeah, it
tense
was.
sequence. And again, we have this vision slash dream of Christie's girlfriend who is on withdrawal symptom of drug addiction, who have a dream of the creatures being alive and attacking her. And again, this music box. Okay, so the music box keep appearing since the beginning of the season. A mystery. Why the music box? For which reason? We still don't know. But the music box seems to be connected to the worms. That's the way I feel anyway.
Yeah, something else needs to be connected to the music box as well. Poor Elgin.
Mm, mm. That's true. Well, now we're going to be talking at the end of this because we had a lot of things happen in some way. We learned that Fatima last season might be pregnant, and she's pregnant. She's pregnant, but she shouldn't be pregnant because she's actually was supposed to be infertile. So, another weird things happening
yeah,
in that house.
yeah, and not last season certainly.
Last episode, yeah, sorry. So I guess Alice must have super
yeah,
sperm or something.
yeah. I mean, this seems to be the place where the impossible is very
Hmm.
possible,
But yet again, just like, okay, let's get a kid into this. It's pretty easy.
and also, but also it's very important to note here that this is the first time, as Victor says, that the season seems to be
Hmm.
changing, and apparently now the soil keeps killing all of the plants. That's not
Yeah,
good.
just we have one thing we seems to be seeing is actually changes. A lot of changes. They can fight back. New people. Uh, running out of food. Tension. Pregnancy. Hmm.
Yeah, I just want to note here that I'm super proud of the bus driver for finally getting out of that work
I know.
uniform.
I know. She found the right clothes.
She's a lady of
Hmm.
leisure now. I
Yes,
love
she
it.
is. But so we have all this situation that actually come to the fact that everything is changing right now. Let's talk about Jim, that I wish I could kill right now because, gosh, that character is so annoying.
I, I mean, I don't know. He's not annoying to me. I'm just
What?
kind of indifferent about him.
Oh, come
To
on. Look
me,
the way he
I'm
talked
just
to his
indifferent
wife.
about him.
That we actually understood now why his wife wanted to divorce him because bloody hell. Really? You talk like this to your wife?
Yeah, but let's talk about the other thing that the guy in the bus. I'm just gonna call him the guy in the
The
bus. I
guy in
don't
the
remember his
bus.
name. Sorry,
Mm.
but let's talk about him plotting the conspiracies for us about how if it is an experiment, then somebody else in the town must be in
Hmm.
on it.
Yeah, so to go back to that, we had this idea that it might be an experiment. Like Jim was saying, actually, the only thing interesting about what he said was that is that when we see all the experiment that was declassified, we can wonder what are the experiment that's still secrets. And he believed that the entire thing is an experiment. They're actually trying to see what we're gonna do. And the guy on the bus just conveniently said, okay, but see if the experiment is true. we need to have someone on the inside. So who could it be? Who do you think could be?
My, to be honest, like I told you, I don't know. I was thinking maybe Fatima and
Mm,
Ellis. Honestly, just because they seem to be in the opening credits a lot, and to be honest, like you said, they haven't really had any kind of an important role
yeah,
so
and I'm
far.
still
So it really kind of makes me a little
and I
curious, you
still
know?
understand. I still don't understand why do they have the bigger room in the house when you see everyone else is actually sleeping together in like bunk bed and everything else, and they have one room for themselves. Why?
Yeah, my I kind of think that maybe it's just because they came before them,
Oh,
so they just claim the
please,
room.
please, please. It's oh, the other everyone's sleeping on sofas on the floor and everything. And they have the bed.
Yeah,
Just oh, come on.
all those people came
Ah,
after.
still,
Remember?
still, that's not right.
Because also wasn't Ellis and Boyd there before uh the other lady?
No, I don't think so.
Uh,
I
okay.
don't know actually, because he said
Oh no, they were all because they were all living without the
that's
talismans, right?
exactly, yeah. But one thing we
Yeah.
just realized also is the guy who stabbed Ellis says something that was very interesting to me. It just reminded us that the people who live in town are different from the people living in a house. They have different rules. And that's something since we
Yeah.
have forgotten since last season, because last season there were kind of a tension between the people living in town and the people living in a house, and that was kind of disappeared for quite a few episodes, and it's coming back now, which is quite interesting.
True. It's also interesting to me is that it's like uh they seem to finally figure out how to kill these
Hmm.
things. And now it's pretty much like the entire place is fighting back. It's like, okay, you figured out how to kill them, but now we're gonna figure out more ways to kill you.
Yeah, it is. It is weird. The episode is so weird because we actually have a kind of answers, but the answer bringing us more questions, which is the most frustrating one.
Yes. Uh well also I know a lot of you are probably happy that they finally decided to actually have
Mm,
conversations. That was nice. You know, Jade and I can't remember her name. But
mhm.
Jim's wife, they were having a conversation and then they were disclosing all of these things they had seen, and that's when they finally put two and two together. Like, oh, this is the symbol you're seeing. Well, that's the same symbol that's in the tunnels. And Jay's like, what tunnels?
It does actually
you
make me laugh
know?
because I think the writers knew that people were thinking this because I see a lot of pick but actually they're not talking to each other. They're actually making a joke about it, which is actually pretty funny. But yeah, so actually, we know that she saw the symbol in the tunnel. So can we expect a little discussion in the tunnels in a few next episode or so?
Probably not. Like,
Oh, we're talking Jade. Jade doesn't have nothing to
I'm just
lose.
saying it. And true, but it just seemed pretty dangerous down there. I mean, I didn't see that as like a day trip, like not Miss Frizzle's Magic School Bus
Well, let's be
kind
honest.
of
They
trip.
know they only come out at night. She knows that actually
Yeah,
they are sleeping during the day, so nothing stops them going there during the day. And Jade, let's be honest, the way
it's
to,
it's true. It's true, but they can wake up, as we saw. They
hmm
can wake up during the day, in those tunnels. But I think they're like just
hmm
very slow, like they're like slower or something.
But
Right?
Jade have nothing to lose because let's remember what we knew last season. Actually, he's experiencing exactly the same symptom as that guy who ended up killing the entire town. So I don't think the
True.
guy actually had anything to lose by actually trying to find the secret of what's happening. So, and I kind of, I warmed up to him. I actually found it a kind of a more interesting character than he was before because I used to find him annoying, but actually I love his, I like him. He's remind me of me a bit the way he's talking to people. So, mm. Yeah.
Yeah, and this kid just keeps walking around asking 99
hmm
questions.
And I keep
Like,
thinking they better do a bit more episode because that kid's gonna grow fast.
yeah, I
Are they
mean,
gonna do it? Because I'm sorry, every season seems to there is no jump in the season. Basically, we saw last season we had cliffhanger was resolved in a straight away in season two. It took a year for them to film it. Eventually, that kid's gonna turn 14, 15. They can't actually make him believe that he's still eight.
just have him on there like being 10 with a beard.
Exactly, just like, oh, you're my friend. Okay, it's gonna be on his knees. It's gonna be on his knees with some shoes, just pretending to still be a kid. Well, they've done it with teenagers in movies, so why not? But that would be weird. Unless they used a little person.
Okay, I mean this. I was gonna say they could also do like in Stranger Things. They could get like you remember how they put Eleven's face on this
Yeah,
particular
but
person?
that was only for a flashback. We are talking another episode, another season.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I'm thinking about different strokes when actually Arnold was a little person, so actually they managed to keep him the right size for the entire run of the season. But yeah, I don't know what they're going to be doing
Well, I,
eventually.
well, I think The Walking Dead made it work with Carl, right? So.
Yes, true. But they could manage to actually get some time jump, and we don't have time jump. That we can't actually that show we can't have time jumps. If you think about it, it's impossible to get time jump because the mystery actually need to be gradually forward.
That is true.
hmm Look at me, I got
Um,
brain. I know.
we're impressed.
I'm not a lost cause. That's good.
but
Mm,
yeah, I don't. This episode, it was really just inviting
mm,
more questions. I feel like it's trying to set up a
mm,
bigger monster
mm,
for the season. And with the music bot making its appearance again and the
mm.
worms casually just
And the
disappearing.
gallbladder, like
you know.
the only thing the gallbladder is supposed to be producing is fluid that actually help with disintegrating fat. That's the only thing gallbladders, like the liquid from the gallbladder do. So I don't see what actually is got to do with anything.
Yeah, that whole scene. We got bile. That's something, right? Yeah, bile.
We got yellow fluid. And they actually, I just love the fact they saw that it would be gallbladder. We don't know if it's really gallbladder because have you seen the face?
Yeah. Well, you're not. We're missing the most important part. She said that the thing was
We don't know
human.
that. It
It
looked
has the
like
same
human.
anatomy of
It
a
looked like
human.
human, but is it?
And is it a vampire? Is it a
No.
vampire? It's a vampire, isn't it? It's a
Have you
vampire.
seen it? Have you seen their teeth? Are they? How can you bite someone with their kind of teeth, sir? Come on.
I mean, okay, sir. Let's not act like you haven't seen movies with vampires of all different
Mm,
forms.
fair enough.
Yeah, it does make sense. They can't come in with the talisman. They can only come out in the dark.
Mm.
I don't know. The math is mathing for me. I don't. What do you guys
Yeah,
think?
that's true. And the question I'm asking myself now is actually, what did they do with the body after the autopsy? Do you really want to keep
I,
actually a body of a monster inside the place when you had the talisman?
well, my whole thing was I was kind of worried that they were just going to do the autopsy and it was just going to go into night. And then, like, as soon as nightfall came, this thing would like regenerate or something. But
Oh,
luckily
new
that didn't
fear
happen.
unlocked. Oh,
Luckily that didn't
yes. That would have been scary.
happen.
Really, really scary, actually. So really, we got the last Elgin. We're actually getting this weird situation, and they give us the worst cliffhanger ever. I'm sorry, I'm pissed off. I am
What was
pissed off.
that?
I
It was
am
not.
pissed
It
off
was.
at that.
It was. It was not the things
No,
outside, wasn't it? Is this a new
they
person?
remind me of the monsters from Life Force, the movie. For those who've seen the 1980s movie Life Force, that's what remind me of. And they're all desiccated creatures with no fluid, who actually that's what remind me of. But it just came out of left field. Just he decided to try to remember his dream because apparently he conveniently forgot what his dream was about. So that's another mystery. And that character, I don't know her name. I can't remember. You see, all the characters I'm not interested in him, I don't actually remember their names. So there we go.
I remember the ones that have kind of unique names. Like I remember Elgin, because how do you
I
forget that name?
remember
You know,
Jade.
like if you told me your name was
I
Elgin,
remember
like
Jade because
and
Jade for me
Jade.
was a female name until I discovered it could be a male name too. So yeah.
Uh, I remember. I really remember Fatima just because I had a boss
Mm.
named Fatima, and
But she was basically she told Ergin that actually one thing he can try is actually put his head under water and I allow him to allow her to actually get can more settle and actually remember things. So that's what he did, and something tried to kill him.
how do we know it was real? It could have been a figment of his
Yeah, but there was a
imagination.
cliffhanger, which is it's the worst cliffhanger. It's really the worst cliffhanger. You remember the cliffhanger of of this guy who actually just fell with a zombies in The Walking Dead. Jane, who fell basically with the other character and was with zombies in The Walking Dead. The cliffhanger. Just like, come on, stop this cliffhanger that don't make in the middle of a scene like this. It's annoying.
Yeah, I mean, to top it all off, this was actually one of the longer
Was it?
episodes. I think it was roughly 50. Yeah, it was roughly around like 54 minutes. Where
It's
the one
42,
from last
43.
month, or more last week, the one from last week was like what? Like it wasn't 40 minutes. I think it was more
It
like
all
38.
depends, yeah. But it depends on the advertising they want to put in, so. Mm. But yeah, overall, I think it was interesting because we did have a couple of answers really. We have set up for answers. Uh,
Well, we do know these things can
we
die
do know
now.
that. Mm,
Hopefully,
yeah, we know that Jim and the guy on the bus are doing something with a drone.
yeah. But I think the biggest question we should be asking here is if the things look human inside, or if they are indeed human, how do they get like that?
Hmm.
You know, I feel like that's one of the most important questions here.
The thing that it's not annoying me, but it doesn't make any sense for me is when they're talking about it's an experiment, they're experimenting on us. And for what they are saying, James saying that it's the government doing it. And I was just thinking, okay, so government got access to monsters? Well,
Who knows? Who knows?
mm,
You know, look at Stranger Things.
yeah, but I don't know. I just it would make more sense for me to be aliens, but that's another story. Yeah.
Really?
Have you read Under the Dome? The answer, the
Yes, I have. But I just this just screams like a U.S. government experiment to me. I'm just
that's it.
saying.
And they can control everything, including the poisonous.
Yeah, I mean, just look at the Montauk
Mm,
Project. You know.
that's true. There was even sending viruses in New York in the winter. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Oh, nice government. Oh, man. Oh, we have to trust him.
Yeah, so if something happens
Mm,
to us,
mm.
we know what happened.
If we don't see an episode next week, we know we will have been taken because we found out the truth. But yeah, what did you think of that episode compared to last week? So I found last week was a stronger episode, to be honest.
Oh, well, before we get to that, I just want to. I love the fact that they just throw in the fact that Christie's fiance is going through withdrawals, not hiding it at all.
for
Like
once.
Boyd and Kenny asked like, "Hey, what's going on?" Oh, she's going
That's
through
true.
withdrawals. Like, let them know, sis.
It's the
Yes,
best thing to do, to be honest, because enough
yeah.
secrets,
Like, just be
enough
honest.
secrets. But I still try to.
And Boyd and Kenny are
Okay.
like,
The question is, though, the question is, what is the purpose of that character? Because
I don't know.
I thought the character would have been the person who steals the drugs, and actually, eventually they don't have any drugs left in the hospital, and they find this is an issue when they must really have to go to the forest to find drugs. That was actually into a conveniently placed ambulance that actually was lost in the forest. But no,
Okay, well, okay, sir. Like, it's like you're writing for a show that has 21 episodes.
that's true.
Okay.
Hmm.
But look, for me, this episode it had a little bit of everything for
Mm.
me. I enjoyed it. I did. I enjoyed the pacing of it a little bit more than I did
What do you mean?
last.
What do you mean? Do you like the vibe was a bit slower?
Yeah, I kind of like that a little bit.
If there's one thing,
I don't know.
gone.
This episode was it really had me. There was a lot of tension for this one because I just didn't know because there's so much unknown about
Mm,
these things. So it's like, yeah, is it
mm,
really dead? Because the whole episode I'm just watching it. I'm like, is it going to come back to life? Is it
no, of
going to
course.
just disappear from the table? And when she was having that nightmare, honestly, thought it was really happening because this
Mm,
is what I thought was
no, I
going to
know what you
happen.
mean. Mm.
So-
I would say what I wish it would have been. I felt it was maybe a bit too scattered. I wish they could have concentrated on a couple of people and not on all these different actions happening in different area. There's two places I would have wanted them to really concentrate on was the talk with Jade, because I found that was very interesting that for once we actually have them talking to each other about things. And that would have been very interesting to actually have much more full-on scenes with these two characters talking about the experience. I feel it was really like, kind of expedited very, very quickly, unfortunately. And the autopsy. That was really, for me, that was a two scene that actually should have been concentrated on. But we actually kind of been scattered to the different things and oh, let's count the trees. That could have been looked at later. Maybe I would say maybe a third thing would have been actually maybe with Jim and the guy on the bus. But I think maybe it was a bit too scattered in some way because I really wish we would have spent more time with Jay, to be honest, because that would have been very interesting. Because let's be
okay.
honest, the guy just learned last season that he's having the same experience, and the person who killed the entire town is actually now in a pub trying to actually in a bar trying to create something to get completely drunk. Let's be this. Let's be honest. This is a thing there. There's a thing there, and we don't spend enough time with him. Unfortunately, we spend more time with the other character. I say, Ellis, I find it really boring. There's actually nothing for me in that character right now. He hasn't done anything really useful for the show. Jim become the antagonist, so in some way I understand why we're going through it because I hate him, and actually I think that's what they want you to feel. Uh, but yeah. Yeah, that's I preferred last week, but I did enjoy that episode too, but I did prefer last week though.
Okay, well, I mean, they better give us something to go off
Three
of
episodes
because there's
left.
what, three
I
episodes
know.
left.
Three episodes left. So
Well, as always, if you like the video, you can always subscribe to our channel, and we also do have a
and
podcast.
please tell us your thought about who could be the mole. If actually what Jamie says
Okay.
is true, is there a mole and who could it be? Because is it someone that we actually been following, or is it someone that has been in the background? We don't know. It would be interesting to see your thought about that, actually.
Yeah, I mean, because sometimes like there was a scene when they were in the house, and I just saw these people, and I'm just like, how did they get there? Like, I really want to know some more backstories here. But we only have 10 episodes, so
But it's like
we'll
in
take what we
Lost.
can
In
get.
Lost, we had the background characters. I needed some to actually get them killed, because we can't kill the main characters all the time. That would be boring.
But
We still have that fat
yeah,
woman. We
okay.
still
Well,
have that fat
see you
woman
here.
that actually lost her eyes that keep popping up from time to time, which is weird because the only thing she's done the entire season was actually getting her eyes hurt. That's what she did, but she's still appearing, so she might be important. So there you go.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll see you
Okay, same
same
time
place,
next
same
week.
time next week.
So have a nice week, guys. Bye bye.